the markets, global markets, are very good. Again, so this year a lot of issuance, tightening spreads, so all looking very, very positive. That was one item, and the other item was the government directive and the impact there. So the government directive has been voted or passed last week. And there was a discussion about the potential impact, next steps, which is basically the implementation of the legislation and the directive in the various countries. Overall positive, constructive feedback in terms of the fact that the directive allows discretion for the individual countries. Also is not disrupting the cover bonds as it is at the moment. The ECB is now having a task force purely on helping on the implementation of the directive in the individual countries. So hopefully in a comparable way that not one country goes left and the other one right in terms of using full discretion, but ensuring that it's the understanding and of the various points of the directive will be the same, and in a similar way implement in programs in countries and helping the various countries with that process. So I think that's a useful step where the ECBC can be of help.
I think we were trying to look at covered bond markets as a whole and to what extent we can learn from that for example, the pan-Baltic, framework that's being discussed at the moment, and to what extent, again, these let's say, takeaways can help the market to grow, generally speaking. Obviously, the directive plays a major role, but at the same time, we should not think that the directive in itself will do the job. So we obviously need all of the fundamentals, and I think my contribution in that respect was particularly sharing views on the Polish market, that we have been very much involved on the Slovakian market, and I think those are, let's say, case studies that very seriously show you that, appetite is clearly there. And investor appetite is up for grabs as we speak. So I think it's all about getting it done and being ready whenever the market is ready to go. I think the directive is a great thing in that it puts a lot of things down, carved in stone, that maybe we're taking for granted for much too long. It's a good basis to keep developing the market going forward, and I think we should, and I think that again is what successful markets and successful issuers are telling us. We should focus on the similarities and maybe forget about the smaller differences that there are. And if we believe that this is a market, there need to be some differences, but I think the similarities is what makes the covered bond a successful product and what will help the market to grow further.
The panel I was on the directive and basically the future developments, what it means for investors and issuers, and I think it's absolutely positive. I think it's kind of Europe at its best, having sort of a lot of laws or jurisdictions getting together and basically finding a common ground for sort of a European legislation, still having basically the issuers or the national law in place. That is, I think, was one of the challenging things that got completed, I think, very successfully, and I think it's going to be a blueprint for those jurisdictions which are not ready yet. And so mainly Eastern Europeans, and we are here in Riga, there's a reason. So the Baltic region or the Baltic states will still have a little bit of work to do, but almost getting ready. And I think the directive is a very, very good tool for them to use that as basically as a tool for their legislation.
So the diversification of the issuer base for covered bonds will help the whole instrument grow globally, and also shore up the fact that the investors need more to go at to gain a return, and the return that they need. The ECB has distorted the market, as has the mainstay of covered bonds. So any new developments, which the directive will help with, can only be a positive.